All right, everybody, welcome back to our Tri-State Trends podcast. I got my man Tierre Browne, Selfless Financial, with the rebrand on them, with the cursive SF on them. But I did want to thank you, Tierre, for getting on with me today. You are doing some pretty cool things with the Index Universal Life product, really creating that as the number one product in your portfolio. And that makes a lot of sense because in 2024, we're going to do a decent amount of volume across the board. We've shifted the amount of volume that we've shifted from 2020 to 2023 to IULs is a lot. And so 2024 will probably be the biggest year we've ever had as a company with that. And so we're growing sales with F&G, Ethos, Moo, NLG, we're growing it everywhere. And so you've become a guy that has basically crushed it with this product. And so I wanted to get you on here to talk about it because you obviously have a methodology in the way you sell it and who how you target it. So first off, thank you for jumping on with us. How you doing today, man?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate anytime I get with you. So I definitely looking forward to this.
Yeah, bro. So talk to us. I mean, like, talk to us. You moved a decent amount of your client portfolios over to IULs.
Mhm.
Talk to us about how you're positioning this. Is it a certain type of lead? Is it a certain type of lead that's getting you predominantly IUL clients, or are you just looking at the landscape and saying,
Yeah, yeah,
Mr. and
yeah.
Mrs.
No,
Client, here you
I'll
go?
go through it, man. I'll jump into it. It's no
Sure.
problem. For me, early February of 23 is kind of when I shifted all of my business, and I said I'm not going to do simplified issued per se anymore. For me, it was kind of moving out of that space in general, either lead flow was a problem or not necessarily wanting to do live transfers anymore. I kind of wanted to do stickier business,
Mm-hmm.
so I shifted all of my resources, lead funds and everything, to IULs. So yeah, I do personally only buy IUL leads specifically.
Okay.
I do from time to time when I need to fill in the blanks, I'll buy some mortgage and stuff like that. But even then, those mortgage leads end up being like an IUL sold, an IUL helping that family because it's an easy transition too. You're not just helping someone with a 30-year term; you're helping them 30 years worth of coverage, but they could also dip into their IUL to get money from it to help them with things that go on in life. Yeah, so majority of my leads are structured around IULs. Most of my clients are IULs. The clientele is not necessarily the ultra wealthy, the doctors, the nurses, the dentists, the business owners. Majority of my clients are middle America, just trying to do better for themselves. So I have a lot of truck drivers and postal workers and logistics teams and all kinds of stuff, all kinds of different people in different industries, but it's mainly middle America. The same people that are looking for mortgage protection are also looking at better options for themselves for retirement. Like, how do they get there?
So how are you probing for that? There's obviously, it's an IUL lead.
Yeah, and IUL lead. So I use about two or three different lead vendors that are sourcing for basically middle America. I've kind of tailored mine to say I don't want people that are making 300,000 plus a year.
Got it.
I want people that are making between say 40 and 200 annually.
Got it. And
Because even then with the 40, then you'll kind of run into folks that are, really trying to do best for their family. They may not have a pension, they may have a small 401k, but they're really looking at seeing how can they put any extra money they're saving into a platform that will help them add to their retirement. Because you gotta, like when you do different reads about IULs and retirement, there's always like three different prongs. There's that you got to have a pension, the 401k, and Social Security. Well, most companies nowadays are not giving anybody pensions. That's like gone. That's like lost, right? Social Security is non-existent also, and who knows who knows if that's really even going to be around in 20 years or 30 years. So if you're relying only on your 401k, you're purposely putting into your 401k that can take a loss. That's a risk. So why not we put you in something that has very like no downside, no market loss.
And that's your approach. That's how you're framing it.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you go from there?
So I mean, in the beginning, my first conversation that I have with a client is very it's like a discovery call, but it only takes about 8 to 10 minutes, if that. During that discovery call, I'm just trying to figure out what they have currently, what their age is, and how's their health. Very simple. Then I kind of give them some pros and cons to 401ks, IUL comparisons, and then I'm figuring out what their comfortable monthly budget is, how much they're putting into their 401k, what their saving habits are. What other types of insurance do they have that maybe they don't need? We don't know that yet, but maybe we'll find that out later. But within that 8 to 10 minutes, I'm really just trying to figure out if they're down to get on a Zoom call and schedule that Zoom call. So within 8 to 10 minutes, I figure out all of that. We schedule a Zoom call. If you show up to the Zoom, I'm closing probably about 70% of the people that show up because now I've showed you everything that the IUL does. It makes sense. My presentation on the IUL is pretty solid where like you literally have no questions. I'm just rolling into the application because that's the process. But if you don't show up to the Zoom, it's okay because I only wasted like 8 minutes. So I just keep dialing. So like if I have no shows on Zooms, I don't get upset. I just dial and try to reach more people.
And so effectively a two call close.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much a two call close. The clients that I've closed in a one call are kind of impulsive buyers. And
Hmm.
I
Are those
personally,
telephone calls or Zooms?
I would I would be on the phone call with them, but then send them a Zoom link on the spot.
Got it.
But if you're impulsive enough to buy kind of right then and there, I've only had like two one call closes, let's say.
Right.
And that one of them was my return. One was a chargeback. But all the rest of my stuff has basically stayed on the books.
Got it. And so with this product, there's a lot of levers. There's a lot of things that are attractive about it. Um, how are you positioning that inside of their ability to know what they're buying and
hmm
love it, which allows them to obviously keep it?
Yes, I mean the IUL is pretty loaded, and people go through different different aspects of what it can do for you. If you're looking at it to provide a replacement for a 401k, like everybody knows what a 401k does. It goes up when the market's up. It goes down when the market's down. You have hardship withdrawals if you take any money out of it, and it's not your money, it's not liquid, right? So when you explain to someone your IUL, yes, on the back end you get a life insurance policy, right? But we're not even really focused on that. That's like way on the back end, and I tell people it's way on the back end. What we're going to figure out is how we're going to make your money work for you. So I explain the account value, how you can leverage the account value over the death benefit, how you have, you know, ability to overfund, put more money into an account if you like to, all different things. It just totally depends on the conversation. But by the end of my Zoom presentation, I've showed you everything. I've showed you, pictures. I'm usually popping around all over the place on my Zoom. I'm looking at the illustration, but I'm also looking at what I need to buy at Costco or my calendar, or like I'm all over the place. And clients see that and they see like how transparent I am. I'm looking at my calendar. I'm going, hold on, we only got about 15 minutes. So are you serious about this? Or like, do we need to schedule another call? Because I gotta go.
Mm.
And they're like, no, 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 let's do this. Most clients by the end of my presentation are asking me what's the next step.
They're
So
asking you, you're setting it up.
I'm setting it up so that they have no questions other than how do I get one? Because It's my approach from the beginning where I say, like, in the next 8 to 10 minutes, we're gonna keep this real conversational. I'm not gonna let you buy anything. We're just gonna talk and see if I could even help you. So it's not a sales call. And then I kind of carry that through when they see me on Zoom and I wear like random baseball caps, different days of Zooms. I say, I'll be in a baseball cap. I probably won't be even looking at this screen, right? That we're, on. I'll be looking at my big 45-inch on the wall because I don't want to wear some goofy glasses my wife got me to look at my laptop. So I'm not even going to look at you. We're going to look at the data. We're going to focus on that. And then if you have any questions, you could chime in.
Hmm.
But most don't.
Okay. So how do you go from that to application illustration
Yeah. So when
or
I'm showing the
illustrate? Is it? I'm
illustration,
sure it's illustration application. My bad.
yeah, yeah. It's a problem. So I go from, doing the intro call, set the Zoom, you get the Zoom link, you're gonna pop in, there's no meeting code or anything, you're just gonna hop in there and I'll show you the illustration. You told me your monthly number was, 500, 600, 1,000, whatever it is. We're gonna look at that illustration. I'm gonna show you how it's flexible in payment. And I'm gonna show you, remember, write this down if you could, you know, tell me how to overfund. So I don't tell them on the phone. I tell them to ask me that question.
That's so
So
good.
so then when they get on the phone, they say, you're
Remind
gonna
me.
show
Wait,
me
wait,
the
wait, wait. Do that one more
no.
time. That was good.
So when I'm setting the appointment, you're gonna get the Zoom link and all that stuff, and then you're gonna get the Zoom link. You won't have to put any fancy codes or anything. Also, please, Brian or whoever, please make sure you remind me to tell you about the overfunding
Hmm.
or flexible payments. And I go, can you write that down? Because my note system doesn't allow me to do it in my computer. Can you write it down and remind me? So now, if they're really interested, they'll show up to the Zoom. Within the first 5 minutes, they'll ask me that question. That means they listened, they wrote it down, and now they're intrigued. They really want to know, how do you overfund? How do you have a flexible payment? Or I'll purposely skip that during my presentation on Zoom and say, do you have any questions? And then they'll say, okay, how do you overfund?
Got it.
Then I'll go, oh, yeah, man, you see, you're supposed to remind me.
Mm-hmm. What is um, what is your technique to ensure or to increase the likelihood of them showing up to the second appointment?
Yeah, so my system that I use is kind of like an agent CRM. It does a drip on them for text messages and emails. So they'll get messages like the day that we set the appointment, 2 days prior, the day of, an hour before, 5 minutes before. And I do tell my clients, like, look, my computer has a mind of its own. It's going to send you a bunch of messages. It's not me, it's my computer. So don't get mad at it or anything like that. Like, if I send you something from now forward, it's going to have a smiley face or a typo in there. Everything else is my computer. Most people laugh. They're like, "Oh, hey, no problem. Don't worry about it. It helps me stay on schedule." I'm like, "All right, cool," because they will get bombarded. They get probably like 5 messages, 6 messages. But even the people that say cancel or say, "Hey, Tier, I'm not going to make it. Can we do another day?" At least they're nice about it because I still left them with enough information that they want to come to the Zoom because they got to find out how their comfortable number is going to illustrate. I didn't give them everything. If I gave them everything, they'd walk away. They'd be like, "Hey,
Right.
Tier, I got to cancel." Click, gone. Well, I left you still wanting. And then we just reschedule, if anything. But I used to take the no shows as a negative, but it really just forced me to take the no shows as time to dial,
Right.
just to continue to dial other leads, follow up with other people, stuff like that.
Now, when you look at um, the actual that second call,
Mhm.
and obviously you're going through a lot of buying questions and buying signals, and how do you land that? How do you turn that into an application?
Yeah, so I'm still in the mindset of I'm just going to explain this to you so you understand. So I go through the whole flow of it. I talk about how it has, the death benefit, the living benefits, the account value, the overfund, the what if time gets tough, what do you pay for the cost of insurance, like all the attributes to it. Like not only, the living benefits and the death benefit, but what if you turn like 83 and you just can't go downstairs to do your laundry? Because that's what I worry about. What if I have to go downstairs and now I need cash flow? Well, now I could take from this account value that it provides me the cash flow to hire that person to help me, right? Um, so then I say, look, does all that make sense to you? Yeah. All right, cool. Is that monthly number still good? Yeah, that's good. Do you want to go higher? No, I'm good there. All right, cool. Let's do the application. And then while I'm talking to them about the end of it, I'm already bringing up the application and starting to populate things. They're starting to see the validation of my license in these states, and I'm starting to populate things already. So you see all these little pink boxes? This is where we're going to start filling out. It's probably only going to take about 10 minutes. And then we're going to get your banking info and a bunch of other questions. And we'll be out of here in like 10 minutes. Now, if you interrupt me, it's going to take longer because I don't type that fast. Cool? Cool. And I just go through it.
Love it. I love it.
It's
Now
kind
on.
of like
Go ahead.
assuming the sale in a sense, but
Mm-hmm.
you really don't have any questions after the presentation.
No doubt. And so you're, how are you figuring out whether you're going ethos, Moo, F&G, etc.?
If someone's going, so I'm probably going 90% F and G. Only Moo if they're say 60 or older and looking more like if they don't have a death benefit of any sort, like no life insurance or anything like that. Because in your 60s, you don't have a lot of time anyway to compound interest. Like, you're 60, you know. So what I usually say to even my 55 plus crowd is like, what you really have working against you is time, because that's the truth. Like, you could either make a higher monthly premium or pay longer or get in a time machine. That's like literally my line I say on every call. And they're like, yeah, I wish I would have done this in my 20s. Yeah, I wish you would have too. But we're here. So how do you count, go over that? So 60 plus, I probably go Moo if they're, looking for specifically a death benefit, or Ethos if they're looking for a higher death benefit than what Moo can provide. But majority, I would say probably 98% is going FNG.
No doubt. Talking with Tierre Browne and IUL Guru, and as you can see, the way he positions this and some of the ways that he brings his client along for the ride, definitely trending with you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing with us, buddy. That's phenomenal information. And honestly, if I understand the transition from simplified issue to IUL product and why the persistency is higher, all these benefits, your ability to have almost an unbelievable rapport with your client. And so if you're new and you're trying to scale your business, these are some really cool tips for you to take advantage of one of the stickiest products in our business. So thank you, Tierre, for sharing all of that, bro. I appreciate it. And I think you're going to, number one, do a lot of teachings this year on this. And number two, be part of that top 5% of the company that's right in this product and with the numbers to show it. So thank you for your time.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Take care. God bless.